Good afternoon, people. We need to settle down quickly so that I can start with the lecture. So there are some of you who might be knowing because we just had started our ethics classes, right? But for others, let me just introduce. My name is Smriti Shah, and we will be starting with essay classes. And just before we start, let me just give you a brief overview. There would be 5 lectures as far as essay is concerned. And our objective is to ensure that in these 5 lectures, you learn the nitty-gritty of essay writing. It should not remain a challenge for anyone who's watching these lectures. That is the basic agenda. Now, there might be some of you who are slightly better placed as compared to others, or there might be some of you who are not very better placed as compared to the others. But we will keep the flow, the structure of the lecture so that it is following a middle path, that everyone is able to understand what is the basic objective of this lecture. Okay? And the person who is coming, they will settle down. Let's not make them conscious just by observing that how they are moving, where they are settling down. They will settle down. Okay? There is better to focus here. Okay? So anyway, so the point which I was trying to make is that, okay, just before we start, how many of you have already gone through the open session? Or has anybody watched the open session? Okay, largely no. So there are hardly 5 or 6 of us who have watched the open session. So let's do one thing. Let me just give a brief overview to remaining people in the class, because anyway, in democracy, majority works. So that is how we are going to proceed. So if there is something which is similar to what we mentioned in the open session, just take it as your revision. Okay? And then I will be dealing with the most important component of today's agenda, that is how to write an introduction. So basically 5 lectures. First 2 lectures are there to focus on the writing part, where I am going to tell you that how the writing has to be done. And remaining 3 lectures would be like a workshop in which we will be writing the essays in the class itself, so that you get an idea. Because if I give you the home assignment that go back home and do that, I know that never happens. And I've seen that. वो 10 marker के question नहीं लिखे जाते हैं, तो 125 number का essay तो क्या ही लिखेंगे. So the point here is that it would be like a workshop and we will be writing everything in the classroom. Is that very clear? Okay. Now, before we start, we have to have few things very clear in mind, that if we want to become a civil servant, then you have to clear mains. And that is obvious. And if you have to clear mains, then you have to nail this paper. If you think that you can compromise with this paper and still become a civil servant, that's not going to happen. And I'll give you a reality check that although this year highest were 158 in essay, there was a time when the highest were 176. So that is the probability or the potential of marks which you can secure. But let us assume that was an exceptional case, that people were securing 175, 176. Let us keep a bottom line. And the bottom line should be somewhere around 135 to 140. Anything less than 135 or 140, it will be very difficult to find your name in the list. This is the basic minimum that should be your target. And keeping that in mind, and trust me, it really works. Manifest karo. Just manifest that I have to secure 140 in essay, and trust me, it will transform into reality. Is this very clear? Now, before we begin with today's session, one very basic question. What do we even understand by essay? What is an essay? Anyone, just raise your hand and speak. I don't want any academic answer. What is essay? Free flow of thought. Fine, I'll take this point. Free flow of thought. Anything else? Express your views. It's an expression of your viewpoint. I'll take this point as well. Anything else? Analysis of any topic. Fine. I'll take this point as well. Anything else? Anything. Just a very normal understanding. What according to you is an essay? Not necessary. But नहीं, ये इसमें हंसने वाला क्या, कोई जोक थोड़ी ना मार रहे हैं, ठीक है? Not necessary, but whatever you said, I will take this point also. ठीक है? Anything else? Reflection of ourselves. Okay. See, if I combine the points that these people have given, and based on my idea of UPSC's essay over a period of time, I have noticed one thing. It is nothing but the discussion on the topic which is given. First, it is a discussion. It is not just arranging the facts, viewpoints. It is not just expressing. It is not just free flow of thought. It is not just your reflection. It is collection of all these things because it is the discussion on the topic which is under consideration. First thing, but hold. It is not just the discussion on the topic. It is discussion keeping in mind your point of view on the topic. You just don't have to discuss the topic. While discussion, you have to put forward what is your viewpoint with the concerned topic. But most importantly is the third aspect. It is not just the discussion. It is not just the discussion on your viewpoint. It is convincing the examiner that your viewpoint is correct. That is actually the essay. It would not be just free flow of thought. It cannot be free flow because then it can be contextually irrelevant also. Did you get the point? It is not just reflection of yourself. It has to be reflection with respect to the topic which is being asked. It is not just the analysis. Analysis has to be done in a manner that you are able to persuade or convince the examiner that your analysis is right. So in short, essay, what is an essay? Whenever you are writing an essay, keep three things in your mind. First, it is discussion on the topic under consideration. Second, it is discussion with respect to your viewpoint on the topic. And finally, convincing the examiner with respect to your viewpoint. The basic understanding, this is all about essay. And for me, the most important aspect is your viewpoint should be reflected in the essay, but it should be reflected in a manner that you are able to convince the examiner. Let us say you have discussed the topic. Let us say you have put forward your viewpoint on the topic, but you are not able to convince the examiner that your viewpoint is right. You will not fetch marks. No matter, many times it happens, students come and say, ma'am, paper went so well, but we ended up getting a double-digit marks. Double digit happens because you've written everything, but you have not been able to convince the examiner. So this becomes extremely important. That is why it is often said that essay is like a double-edged sword, do dhari talwar. Why it is said a double-edged sword? Because no other paper gives you the opportunity of choosing the topic of your interest. In every other paper, you have to answer all the questions, barring your optional. This is the only paper where choice is given to you. So that's like an opportunity for you. But to convince the examiner that your choice is correct, your viewpoint is correct, is a challenge. And our job is to overcome this challenge. Is that very clear for everyone? Now, before we start, first thing, please remove any kind of fear as far as this paper is concerned. I know many times people think that 1200 words kaise likhenge, structure nahi ho pa raha, ye nahi ho pa raha. Trust me, अगर बाकियों से हुआ है और इतने सालों में हुआ है तो आपसे भी होगा, ठीक है? But you have to take step by step whatever I'm telling you in the class. You have to just follow that. Is that very clear? So just give me, for those who have already watched the open session, you just have to give me another 30 minutes. Let me just give them a broad idea that how to approach the essay paper, and then we'll start with the topic of the discussion, that is introduction writing. Is that clear for everyone? Okay. Now, there are few things which has to be kept in mind as far as essay is concerned. First and foremost, like any other paper, even the paper of essay has a syllabus. And the syllabus says, remain as close to the topic as possible. Second, arrange the arguments in orderly fashion. Remain concise. And reward would be given for exact and effective expression. And like any other subject, your foundation batch students also, like any other subject, you know that the first thing when you approach a paper is to go through the syllabus. It is an unsaid rule. Without going through the syllabus, you cannot proceed with the paper. And see what you learn from the syllabus. Any observation based on these 4 points? The most basic question that I have been often asked by the students is, ma'am, from where to prepare the essay? Do we have a book which can be read to prepare for the essay? Do you realize no economics, no polity, no society, no ethics, nothing has been given in the syllabus, because they know that you are already preparing for GS paper 1, 2, 3 and 4. So there is no book which is supposed to be read as far as essay writing is concerned. You want to read extra books for your knowledge in order to improve your vocabulary, that's a separate thing. But if you ask UPSC course, do we need to refer any book? There is no book. All you need to do is whatever information that you have gathered from GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4, that has to be used. And how it has to be used? Keeping these 4 points in mind. That whenever you are using that information, she said now facts, anecdotes, all of that, whenever you are using them, make sure you remain as close to the topic as possible. Do we realize that UPSC is acknowledging the fact that writing essay is subjective? We both can choose the same topic, yet we both can write very different essays. That is why they say remain as close as possible, because there will always be the subjectivity. Second, they say whatever you are writing, if it is contextually right, just ensure it is written in an orderly fashion so that they can understand what you are intending to write. As simple as that. And whatever you are writing, make sure it is crisp. No beating around the bush. Write very much to the point. Otherwise, just imagine if you're correcting somebody's script and the person takes too many words or space to come to the main topic. क्या आता है मन में? यार कहना क्या चाह रहे हो? What you are exactly trying to say. कभी-कभी नहीं होता, two friends are having a conversation, आप सुन रहे हो 1 मिनट 2 मिनट, अब मुद्दे पे आएगा, अब मुद्दे पे आएगा, मुद्दे पे, finally आप बोलते हो मुद्दा बता क्या है. So that is the point they are also saying. Please remain as concise and as crisp as possible. And in case you do that, they are trying to lure you. Extra reward will be given if your expression is exact and if it is effective. Through syllabus, they have exactly told you what is their expectation. Is it making sense for everyone? Okay. Now, if I further proceed, the second thing is why UPSC has introduced the essay paper. What exactly they are trying to check or evaluate. If you know the purpose, why UPSC has introduced the paper, your preparation automatically will become very easy. And if you ask me, I will say the first and foremost thing is they are trying to test your knowledge. आप बोलोगे मैम इसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है, तो हमें भी पता है, आपको नहीं पता, हमको भी नहीं पता था. पहली बार जब ऐसे लिखा था, वो होता नहीं है कि शेर ने भी कभी मुंह धोया है, सीधे एग्जाम में जाके लिखेंगे, ऐसा हमारे साथ भी हुआ. टॉपिक आए, पहला हमें एक ऐसे लिखना था, 4 टॉपिक्स से, यू हैड टू चूज 1 टॉपिक. देयर वाज दिस 1 टॉपिक, आई हैड अ वेरी गुड एनेक्डोट इन माय माइंड. आई वाज लाइक शिट, मैंने कहा यार ये तो बेस्ट कॉम्बिनेशन हो गया, किसी ने नहीं सोचा होगा, एंड आई ओनली नो दिस एनेक्डोट एंड आई एम गोइंग टू राइट दिस. एंड आई चोज द टॉपिक, आई स्टार्टेड राइटिंग. माय इंट्रोडक्शन वाज वेरी इफेक्टिव, बट आफ्टर राइटिंग 5-6 पेजेस आई रियलाइज्ड नाउ आई डोंट हैव द कंटेंट. क्योंकि मैंने तो गैम्बल उस टॉपिक पे किया ही ये सोच के था दैट आई हैव एन एनेक्डोट, और इतना सटीक एनेक्डोट तो किसी के पास नहीं होगा. समझ ही नहीं आया. एनेक्डोट इज नॉट ऐसे. And it happens, it will happen with you also. If you can think of 1 or 2 examples, if you can think of a quotation, you'll be right, shit, ये तो यार गजब ही हो गया. मतलब I will be writing on this essay because I know a quotation on this, I know an anecdote on this. फिर क्या 1200 वर्ड लिखना है. And after writing 500-600 words, you will realize you don't have content left to be written. So it is nothing but, see, writing a good anecdote, good quotation, good example, absolutely it's an icing on the cake. But पहले केक तो बना, उसकी icing करके क्या करेंगे? So the point here is that if you do not have content, please do not choose the topic. So from here we come to the first important aspect, that is how we are going to do the topic selection. And as far as topic selection is concerned, there are 3 things. Are you able to comprehend the demand of the topic. Second, can you explore the demand from various dimensions? And finally, do you have examples, facts, theories, case studies, etc. to substantiate your arguments? This is the basic criteria to choose the topic. If you are not meeting any one of these criteria, please don't attempt the topic. Please don't. Because after writing halfway through, you will realize that either you are repeating your points or you are writing which is totally irrelevant from the point of view. So in that context, if you are not meeting these three criteria, please don't attempt the topic. It's a request. And what do I mean by this? Are you able to basically understand what is the demand of the topic? I'll give you a basic example. Let us say the example is, without social justice, or to ensure social justice, economic prosperity is required. But economic prosperity without social justice is meaningless. Write this topic somewhere. To ensure social justice, we need economic prosperity. We need economic prosperity. However, without social justice, economic prosperity is meaningless. Now read the question. This was UPSC's topic. You just need to tell me, do you understand the demand of the topic? Any one person, just raise the hand and tell me what is the demand of the topic. Anyone? Hanji, good. Ah, I can hear. हाँ, 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 ठीक है. हाँ. नहीं यार, फाइन, आई गॉट द पॉइंट व्हाट यू ट्राइंग टू से, बट मेरा पॉइंट सिर्फ इतना है, लेट्स नॉट डेल्व इनटू कि हम ऐसे में क्या लिखेंगे. दैट्स अ सेकंड थिंग. यू जस्ट टेल मी व्हाट इज द बेसिक मीनिंग ऑफ द टॉपिक और द स्टेटमेंट व्हिच इज रिटन. हाँ, बट व्हाट यू सेड इज फाइन. हाँ, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, it is trying to establish a relationship that through economic prosperity, you have to be economically prosperous if you want to establish social justice in the society. But social justice is the larger goal. And if you're not able to realize, then whatever economic prosperity you have ensured is meaningless. For example, this woman got access to labor market. She started earning money. Now she is becoming economically prosperous. But because of the patriarchal mindset, she doesn't have the autonomy to spend the money that she is earning. Did you get the point? So in order to ensure social justice, I wanted to make her economically prosperous. I made her economically prosperous. She is working, she is financially independent. But क्योंकि patriarchy है समाज में, she is not having the freedom or autonomy to decide how to spend the money that she herself is earning. That means in the absence of social justice, whatever economic prosperity you have ensured is meaningless. Did you get the point? Is it making sense? ठीक है. This is the basic demand. So if you understand the demand and you think you can explore this demand from at least 7 to 8 dimensions, and for every dimension you have enough examples, only then choose the topic, otherwise not. Is that making sense for everyone? अब आपको लगेगा कि मैम क्या करें, डिमांड ही नहीं समझ आई, तो फिर हम यहाँ क्या करने बैठे? समझाएंगे ना, सिखाएंगे कि डिमांड को कैसे समझना है. इज दैट वेरी क्लियर? यू डोंट नीड टू वरी अबाउट इट. बट डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट द टॉपिक सिलेक्शन? ठीक है. जस्ट वन पीस ऑफ एडवाइस दैट वो विद टाइम आएगा, लेकिन आज बता देती हूं दैट यू हैव टू राइट 2 essays. Just make sure both the topics are very different from each other. Otherwise, knowingly, unknowingly, you will end up repeating the example or the topic, which will give an impression to the examiner you have very limited content. Is that very clear? अब ये दो टॉपिक्स को डिफरेंटली कैसे चूज करना है ये मैं आगे की क्लासेस में सिखाऊंगी. बट एज ऑफ नाउ टॉपिक सिलेक्शन का क्राइटेरिया क्लियर है सबको? कैन वी प्रोसीड फर्दर? ठीक. नेक्स्ट, द पर्पस ऑफ दिस पेपर इज एक्चुअली टू इवैल्यूएट your comprehension skills. According to Albert Einstein, if you can't explain something in simple way, it means you yourself have not understood it. As simple as that. अगर आप कोई टॉपिक बहुत बेसिक लैंग्वेज में सामने वाले को नहीं समझा पा रहे, इसका मतलब है वो टॉपिक आपको खुद समझ नहीं आया है. And that is the root, that is the basic essence. And why did I pick up this thing? I just want to tell everyone here, the major issue which most of us are going to face is, ma'am, my English is not very good. I do not have a very rich vocabulary. I am not able to use those fancy words. Will I be losing out on marks? Absolutely not. Your content should be rich because ultimately it is a test of your knowledge. And secondly, your comprehension skills should be good. You should have the skill to explain your concept or your idea in most simple words. I have seen students with very simple understanding of the language, because language is just a medium of communication. If I'm able to explain my context, if I'm able to explain my content to the person who's reading my essay, my job is done. And if you ever want to test this, I'll give you a thing. Write down your essay whenever you are writing your essay, and anyone in the family or friend who understands English, that's it, just give that person to read your essay. If that person can understand what you have written, trust me, your job is done. Then it doesn't matter that how rich language you have used. See, if you have good vocabulary, that's like icing on the cake. Good, make use of it. But if you don't have good vocabulary, don't be bothered about it. वो कोई criteria थोड़े बहुत लोग होते practice ही नहीं करते ऐसे. अरे हम तो लिख ही नहीं पाएंगे. अरे लिखो तो पहले. Is that very clear for everyone? So your comprehension skills, I'll again say, it needs to be as simple, or let me put a word, it should be lucid. There should be no convoluted statements. And simply no jargons. If you can use jargons very naturally or organically, तब तो use करो. वो कभी कभी आदत होती है, कोई नया शब्द सीखा है तो उसे डालना है, without even realizing whether it is making a sense or not. Please don't do that. Thoroughisation थोड़ी ना करना है पेपर का. So you write a simple essay which can be understood by the person who is reading. और convoluted statement से मेरा एक छोटा सा request है, whenever you are writing your GS answers or you are writing an essay, make a deliberate effort. Small statements. नोटिस करना, मैं क्यों बार बार जीएस में बोलती हूँ बुलेट पॉइंट्स में लिखो. द टाइम यू स्टार्ट राइटिंग इन पैराग्राफ, यू डोंट हैव अ हैबिट टू पुट अ फुल स्टॉप. योर एंटायर पैराग्राफ इज ओवर एंड देयर इज नॉट इवन अ सिंगल फुल स्टॉप. द पर्सन हु इज रीडिंग इट इज वेरी अनोइंग, because half of the time we could not understand what you are trying to say. We do have a habit, we'll go back, read it again. Examiner is not going to go back and read your paragraph again. So please write small paragraphs, and within the small paragraph, write small statements. That is going to make a significant difference to your performance. Is that very clear for everyone? See? Next important aspect. Contextual clarity. Very important. See, let us suppose you and me are writing on the same topic. His content can be very different from mine. But do you realize our context cannot be different? जिस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में टॉपिक दिया गया है वो हम दोनों के लिए अलग नहीं हो सकता. विद इन दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट हाउ वी आर राइटिंग द एसे दैट कैन वेरी, बट देन कॉन्टेक्स्ट कैन नॉट वेरी. राइट डाउन अ टॉपिक. राइट डाउन अ टॉपिक. Hand that rocks the cradle, hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. What is the context? I'm not asking you the meaning of the topic. No, ये different है. I'm not asking you the meaning of the topic. I'm asking you the context in which the topic has to be approached. Exactly. It is socialization. That how the value system of an individual is shaped. Hand that rocks the cradle. It is basically coming from the class where we have already done ethics. So let me, for other students, let me just tell. Hand that इतना नहीं सोचना कि अरे इनको कैसे एक बार में socialization पता चल गया, वो तुमको भी पता चल जाता अगर ethics में होते तो. So the point here is hand that rocks the cradle is जो हाथ पालना झुलाते हैं वही ऐसे लोग क्रिएट करते हैं जो आगे चल के रूल करते हैं. ठीक है ना? So this is about the person who is rocking the cradle. That person can be a mother, that can be a father, that can be a teacher, it can be anyone. And all of us are nothing but agents of socialization who are shaping the value system. Now read down the other topic. If development is not engendered, if development is not engendered, then it is endangered. Then it is endangered. If development is not engendered, then it is endangered. What is the context in which we have to write? What is the context of this topic? Inclusive development. Fine. The point here is just try to understand. It is not just talking about inclusive development. It is also telling you that if your development is not gender specific, then development in itself is under threat. Did you get the point? So if you are only talking about inclusive development, that is just the partial aspect. You also have to show that if development is not inclusive, then development in itself is endangered. The development in itself is getting threatened. That is how the contextual clarity has to be established in the topic. Is that making sense for everyone? Is it clear for everyone? Can we proceed to the next thing? So you have to understand the context. और ये धीरे धीरे आएगा. या आज सिर्फ मैं आपको एक overview दे रही हूँ that what we are going to do in the remaining lectures. We will understand every PYQ that what kind of contextual relevance has to be established. ठीक है? Next. Hands down. The essay needs to be multi-dimensional. So they are checking whether you are able to write a multi-dimensional essay or not. I'll tell you a very interesting anecdote. There was a student who's currently IRS officer. And the topic UPSC asked was interstate river water dispute. Simple. Okay. So it is a topic from which paper? GS2 polity paper. Everybody thought it's a political topic and everybody started writing whatever you have studied in polity. But this student was very clear that if the topic has to be written from polity perspective, they would have asked it in GS paper 2. They have asked you an essay. That means they want you to write this topic from multi-dimensional perspective. So rather than writing interstate river water dispute, his main context of the topic was water. That how water is the indispensable resource for survival, how it is being mindlessly exploited, which has resulted into scarcity of water, which has various manifestations, and one of the manifestation is interstate river water dispute. Did you get the point? Okay. So are you understanding what is multi-dimensionality? No matter how much the topic looks to be unidimensional, you have to make it multi-dimensional. Why? Because otherwise there is no purpose of asking the essay. And sooner and later, आपको एक बात realize होगी, by the time I'll reach my 5th lecture, you will start thinking कि भगवान UPSC से philosophical ही पूछे. क्योंकि आपको फिर philosophical ऐसे आसान लगने लग जाएगा. क्योंकि क्या होता है, जो इशू बेस्ड टॉपिक्स होते हैं वो इतने यूनिडायमेंशनल लगते हैं कि उसको मल्टी डायमेंशनल बनाना इज अ चैलेंज. बट फिलोसॉफिकल ऐसे तो होता ही मल्टी डायमेंशनल है, इट इज वेरी इजी टू अप्रोच. एंड आई स्टिल रिमेंबर, अभी थोड़े दिन पहले, जस्ट मेंस के पहले हमने एक बैच वाइंड अप किया था. सो टिल 4th लेक्चर एवरीवन वाज लाइक फिलोसॉफिकल हो गया मैम, एक इशू बेस्ड करते हैं, वी आल्सो नीड टू लर्न. हमने जब 5th लेक्चर में इशू बेस्ड किया, लाइन से सबने एक ही बात कही थी, मैम फिलोसॉफिकल इज मच बेटर टू आंसर. मैंने कहा मैं तो डे 1 से कह रही हूं, इट इज अ ब्लेसिंग दैट यूपीएससी हैज स्टार्टेड आस्किंग फिलोसॉफिकल essays because it is far more easier to answer than a issue based topic. And see, this time 8 topics were there, 3 were issue based, remaining 5 were philosophical. Most of the students have answered both the philosophical topic. इस बार तो यूपीएससी ने चॉइस भी दी थी इशू बेस्ड चुनने की, तब भी किसी ने नहीं चुना. बिकॉज राइटिंग फिलोसॉफिकल इज फार मोर इजियर देन राइटिंग इशू बेस्ड. बिकॉज इशू बेस्ड में स्पेसिफिक नॉलेज होना बहुत जरूरी है, यू कैन ब्लफ. बट फिलोसफी में तो करते रहो, फिलोसफाइज जितना करना है, देयर इज नथिंग राइट और रॉन्ग. इज दैट वेरी क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन? ठीक है, बट यू नीड टू टेल मी, डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड मल्टी डायमेंशनैलिटी? हाउ टू मेक योर essay multi dimensional? That would be the agenda for the next lecture, where I will teach you how to write the body. I'll teach you how to make your essay multi dimensional. Can I proceed from here? ठीक है, next thing. This is the most common doubt which I will be asked time and again. How to prepare the content for essay writing. ठीक है. Now, I can assume that there are many students who have yet not done their ethics and society. ठीक है. But let us suppose you have done your polity, you've done your economy, you've done your history. ये basic foundation सब कर चुके हैं. Everyone around this basic foundation has been done. Try to prepare the topics in a more holistic manner. I'll just give you a very basic example. Let us suppose the example for us is media. Media is one of the favorite topic when it comes down to UPSC. So if I talk about media, how should I prepare? First, what is media? That's a basic thing you can prepare. Second thing, what are the different manifestation, exactly, manifestation of media? That is another thing that you have to prepare. Now, can we say often we talk about media as the 4th pillar of democracy? This is the basic understanding about media. So can I say that through this, what we need to do is establish the significance of media? And when you are establishing the significance of media, economic significance, political significance, social significance, cultural significance, significance with respect to international relations, we can prepare like this. Once you are preparing the significance, we also need to be prepared with respect to the issues and challenges which is confronting the media. And if you have prepared issues and challenges, hands down, you should be prepared with way forward. That's most obvious thing that you have to prepare. Now, not only this, is there anything which can be talked about contemporary times mein? Is there any specific thing which is being talked about related to media? There is one thing which is very prominent now, that is social media. I know why that laughter came. So can I say paid or biased media? Or it can be nothing but, let us say, media trials. Are these most important contemporary issues related to media? Or we can also talk about media ethics. That also becomes an important topic of consideration. तो वो तो हो गया आपका general content which anyway you have to prepare. But if there is something in the contemporary times which is a matter of concern, that has to be specifically talked about. अब इतना तो आप GS के लिए वैसे भी तैयार करते. Media related question can be asked in GS paper 1, it can be asked in GS paper 2, it can be asked in GS paper 4. But to make it more essay related content, just add a quote here. Just add anecdote here. Talk about the historical relevance of media. आपने modern history में पढ़ा होगा. The role which was played by print media. ठीक है. Then you can talk about any report, let us say press freedom index, or is there any international example which can be replicated? The content is prepared for media. अब चाहे GS में आए, चाहे essay में आए. Did you get the point? नेवर प्रिपेयर ये सोचकर, अगर इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है वेयर देयर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी टू बी आस्क्ड इन essay, prepare that topic holistically. There are some broad list of topics which I will be giving you as and when we are proceeding with the classes. For example, health, for example, education, for example, capitalism, artificial intelligence, or for that sustainable development, climate resilient technology. ये बहुत मतलब कहते हैं ना probable topics होते हैं where UPSC has a chance of asking a question. Always be prepared with these topics. Women, their favorite topic when it comes down to essay writing. Every alternative year, you have a topic on women. So you have to prepare it in detail, and there is no second thoughts about it. Is that very clear for everyone? Do you understand what is filtering the content? और ऐसे ही तैयार करना है. अगर आप ये कहो कि यार टॉपर्स बोलते हैं कि हमने तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं किया था, डायरेक्टली हो गया. जिन भी टॉपर्स के अच्छे मार्क्स आए हैं, आप नोटिस करना, एवरीबडी ऑन एवरी टॉपिक एक A4 साइज शीट पे कंटेंट हमेशा तैयार होता है, बिकॉज दैट्स अ स्टैंडर्ड वे ऑफ प्रिपेयरिंग. Is it making sense? And just before the exam, यही A4 size sheet 15 topics तैयार कर लेना, और just before the exam, just flip through those 15 topics that you have prepared. क्योंकि क्या होता है, या तो डायरेक्ट टॉपिक आएगा, let us suppose डायरेक्ट नहीं आए, the examples that you have prepared can be used to answer some other topic, so your knowledge will never go waste. Is that very clear? Can we proceed now? Next. We don't realize this, but essay is also a test of your personality. We might think it is only the personality development stage, that is the interview stage, but that is not true. Even your essay is testing your personality. Now, my very basic question. What kind of civil servant do you want in your society? Just tell me that. Just raise the hand and tell me few qualities which you want to see in your civil servants. Okay, sensitive to the societal problems. Can I say compassionate? So they need to be compassionate. Anything else? Effective intelligence, emotional intelligence होना चाहिए, rationality होनी चाहिए, visionary होने चाहिए, absolutely correct. Integrity होनी चाहिए, bias नहीं होने चाहिए. These are the broad. Empathy, compassion, so that is a part of it. Anything else? Corruption free, integrity आ गई. अरे एक, हाँ, somebody was saying at the back. Probity, absolutely yes. So the point here is, are we realizing all these things? Now just see, to be very honest, when you write the essay, how would you reflect these qualities in your answer? For example, sometimes student says, they say it should be reflective of my viewpoint, and कभी-कभी लोग जोश में चढ़ा देते हैं that if you can justify your viewpoint, you can write anything. Please remember, नहीं. Your essay should always reflect that you are compassionate, and that means you should always be pro vulnerable sections. You will always be pro women, pro poor, pro SC/ST, pro minorities. You have to be pro them. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप कुछ भी लिखोगे and you will end up justifying that. It doesn't work like this. They are looking for civil servants who are compassionate, first and foremost. Second most important thing, that you should be aware about the current developments. Only then you will be able to write examples in your essays which are from the current context. And that is why it says it will show the personality trait that you are observant, and second, you are aware about the developments which are there. Let us suppose you have highlighted all the current developments. You have highlighted the problems. Somebody said effective intelligence honi chahiye, rationality honi chahiye, vision hona chahiye. That means you should have a problem solving approach. If you do not provide the solutions to the problems that you have mentioned, that means you do not have a problem solving approach. अब दो तरह के solutions होते हैं. जैसे एक होता है जो यूटोपियन होता है, moral overhauling of the society, patriarchy needs to be removed, equality needs to be established. कल हो रहा है? इनमें से क्या कल हो रहा है? अगले 5 साल में क्या हो रहा है? कुछ नहीं हो रहा है इनमें से. So the point here is they are looking whether you are rational or not. So when you are providing the solution, it should be practical. It should be realistic. It should be one which can easily be implemented. That is what they are checking. And most important, they are checking whether you are a wise person or not. For example, please refrain from taking any extreme stands in your essay. It should always be the middle path. और ये नहीं कि हमने लिख दिया और जी हमने जस्टिफाई. इसका भी एग्जांपल देती हूँ. एक बार एक ऐसे पूछा था यूपीएससी ने, क्विक बट स्टेडी विंस द रेस. तो एक स्टूडेंट था, वो लिख कर आया कि नो, इट इज एब्सोल्युटली रॉन्ग. इट इज स्टिल स्लो बट स्टेडी हु विंस द रेस. डबल डिजिट नंबर. देखो यार, वो पूछ रहे हैं ना किसी वजह से, वो कह रहे हैं ना क्विक बट स्टडी. आप एक एक्सेप्शन दे दो कि कभी कभी स्लो बट स्टडी भी वर्क करता है. अब ये थोड़ी ना करो कि जो टॉपिक आपने पूछा वो बिल्कुल गलत है. हम नहीं मानते. उन्होंने एक टॉपिक पूछा, सिंप्लिसिटी इज अल्टीमेट फॉर्म ऑफ सोफिस्टिकेशन। आप एक्सेप्शन दे दो कि कभी कभी ऐसा नहीं होता। अब ये थोड़ी ना लिखोगे, नो नो यू हैव आस्क्ड एब्सोल्युटली रॉन्ग टॉपिक, सिंप्लिसिटी इज नॉट द अल्टीमेट फॉर्म ऑफ सोफिस्टिकेशन। किसने बोला आपको ये सब करने के लिए? Just because it's your essay, you can't write everything which comes to your mind. You have to be in consonance, in agreement what is being asked. You can give a counter viewpoint, but you cannot negate what is being asked. And that is why it is said that you should be a wise person. And all of this gets evaluated when you are writing the essay. Is it making sense for everyone? And most importantly, your communication skills. If you can't communicate what you are thinking, what you are feeling, then how can you be a good civil servant? So the basic communication skills should be on point. Is it making sense for everyone? Okay. And what do I mean by that? That's the next thing that we are going to talk about. Writing skill plus language competence plus time management. That's the last thing that we will talk before we proceed with the writing part. Let's say this is my single sheet on which you are writing your essay. First aspect, do not write anything in the margin. Always write small paragraphs. Make sure when you are changing the paragraph, the change is visible to the person who is reading. And you must be wondering that are these things which are not very normal? No, they are not. Kabhi kabhi likhte waqt you don't realize that your paragraph has changed. You yourself have changed, but that changing of paragraph is not understandable by the person who is reading. So all those little things needs to be kept in mind. One, the first rule of writing. Every page should have at least 2 to 3 paras. That's the first rule. Every para should have 2 to 3 statements. That's the second rule. Third rule says no bullet points. दुनिया इधर की उधर हो जाए, ऐसे में bullet points नहीं डालने. That's the basic rule. Fourth rule. See, I would not use the word no because I don't want to do that, but this is a request. When it comes down to diagrams, maps, flow charts, let's keep it for GS paper 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I'm not using the term no, but I'm making a request. Try to avoid. Because otherwise the attention of the examiner from the main content gets digressed. And many a times when a faculty says कि कर सकते हैं, तो फिर हमें लगता है बस करना है. And then we don't realize कि कहाँ करना है. So it might backfire. I have innumerable examples of the toppers who made use of diagrams and flowcharts in the mock test. But once they were selected and I spoke to them, none of them has made flowcharts, diagrams or maps in their main examination. Barring there is one example, that is Ira Singhal. Rank 1, 2013 or 14, okay? So that was the time she made one map because I think the essay was on tourism. So she wanted to show the famous tourist spots or something, and for that she made a map. After her, I have not come across the toppers who have made use of diagrams, flowcharts and maps in the mains examination. So that is why it's a request, please refrain. Is that clear? Next rule is highlight. Highlight all important words where you want to draw the attention of the examiner. And if not highlighting, you can also make boxes. Okay? But इसमें भी एक condition है. Not more than 6, 7 on a single page. नहीं तो जब underline करने बैठते हैं, you are underlining everything. So people is actually looking for what is not underlined. So not more than 6, 7 on a single page. नहीं हो जाता है कभी कभी. Let's not do that. दिखे तो कि what I'm supposed to read. और इसी से सेकंड पॉइंट आता है, मेक श्योर, एटलीस्ट मेक श्योर कि जो अंडरलाइन किया है उसकी स्पेलिंग गलत ना हो. देखो ऐसे तो मैं नॉर्मली आई एम रिक्वेस्टिंग दैट अवॉइड स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक्स नीड्स टू बी अवॉइडेड. और इसका बेस्ट तरीका है लिख लिख के पढ़ा करो. लिख लिख के पढ़ो. जितना लिखोगे ना उतना स्पेलिंग क्लियर होगा. और जब लिखते वक्त पढ़ते हैं ना, ऐसे मत पढ़ा करो डेवलपमेंट, ये सब नहीं पढ़ना. उसका रीजन है क्योंकि हमेशा जिंदगी में डेवलपमेंट ऐसे ही लिखा है. तो जब एग्जाम में डेवलपमेंट आएगा ना तो स्पेलिंग ही याद नहीं आ रही होगी कि डेवलपमेंट की स्पेलिंग क्या थी. ये बहुत बेसिक सी चीज है, ठीक है, मैं मजाक नहीं कर रही. इट हैपेंस, इट्स अ वेरी ह्यूमन थिंग. सो सिंस यू कैन नॉट यूज, इससे नेक्स्ट पॉइंट ये है, नो एब्रीविएशंस, नो एक्रोनिम्स नहीं यूज करना. It's a formal paper. You will not be using any of these things. For example, known as ऐसे नहीं लिखना, without ऐसे नहीं लिखना, allowed नहीं है. In fact, to be very honest, ये भी allowed नहीं है. ठीक है, ये भी allowed नहीं है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल पूरा लिखना चाहिए. इज दिस वेरी क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन? ठीक है. सो दीज आर फ्यू बेसिक थिंग्स. और मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट वैसे बोलना चाहिए, ग्रामेटिकल एरर नहीं होना चाहिए. बट ग्रामर की एक अच्छी बात है, आप एरर कमिट कर भी देते हो और आपको पता भी नहीं होता कि एरर हैज बीन कमिटेड. तो इतना कहूंगी, जानबूझ के मत करो. मतलब जो ऑब्वियस हो, आई डिडंट वेंट, ये मत करना. ये बेसिक ग्रामर रूल है, ये नहीं करना. उसके अलावा चलेगा. ठीक है, क्योंकि बहुत बार क्या होता है, कितना भी मैं समझा दूं, सबने ऐसी इंग्लिश पढ़ी है स्कूल में, तो हाफ ऑफ दैट, स्पेशली इफ इट्स सीबीएसई बोर्ड. सो द पॉइंट हियर इज कि नहीं, मैंने एक बात देखी आईसीएसई वालों का, जब मैं एनेक्डोट्स पढ़ती हूँ ना, दे आर एक्चुअली कोटिंग द सीन फ्रॉम मैकबेथ, दे आर कोटिंग शेक्सपियर. दिस पता चल जाता है बंदा आईसीएसई बोर्ड का है. क्योंकि सीबीएसई वाले ज्यादा से ज्यादा फिजिक्स और केमिस्ट्री की इक्वेशन या प्रॉब्लम्स लिख सकते हैं, शेक्सपियर तो ना लिख पाएंगे. सो द पॉइंट हियर इज कि दिस इज हाउ, वॉट एवर इज योर एजुकेशनल बैकग्राउंड, प्लीज यूज इट टू योर advantage. That is what I can say. But are these points clear for everyone? Is it making sense? ठीक है. One thing you can also do, try using 2-color pen if possible. If possible. ऐसा नहीं कि सीधे एग्जाम में सोचा, पेपर ही छूट गया और फिर मुझे गरिया रहे हो. ऐसा नहीं करना. अगर हो सके तो try using 2-color pens. Blue and black are allowed. Let us suppose you are not doing that. One more thing which can be done, which I think Tina Dabi used to do. Normally, she used to write the statement in a cursive handwriting, whichever was the normal. But let us suppose she wants to draw your attention. She'll change the font. She'll start writing in caps lock, bold letters. So automatically, everything was coming in cursive, and immediately the terms where she wants to draw your attention, socially, educationally, economically, she'll change the font of the writing so as to hold your attention. This can also be used. Another way which can also be used is writing subheadings. अब मुझे पता है इस पे बहुत डिबेट होगी आगे की क्लासेस में कि लिखना जरूरी है नहीं है. देखो, लिख पाओ तो लिखना सिखा मैं दूंगी. अगर सीख के लिख पाओ तो लिखना, नहीं लिख पाओ तो कोई बात नहीं. इज दैट वे? हर चीज के बाद मैं यही कहूंगी, कुछ पॉइंट्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, दैट हैज टू बी केप्ट इन माइंड. फॉर रिमेनिंग यू हैव अ चॉइस. Is this making sense for everyone? Is the writing part, language competence clear for everyone? Finally comes the time management. See, time management is very subjective. Every individual has a different way of managing their time. But let us suppose we have 90 minutes to write this one essay. We can keep 5 minutes for topic selection. We can keep 20 minutes for brainstorming. We can keep 60 minutes for writing part, and remaining 5 minutes can be buffer or let us say revision. That if something goes wrong at any which stage, then you can manage. And trust me, this nothing works in the mains examination. Because I still remember 2021 का पेपर इतना टफ था, 5 या 20 मिनट तो टॉपिक चूज करने में निकल गए होंगे, क्योंकि बहुत बार तो टॉपिक समझ ही नहीं आ रहे थे. इस बार क्या था, पेपर आसान था, डुएबल था. तो इस बार ये कंफ्यूजन होगा कि कौन से वाले पे यू कैन राइट बेटर. सो इट ऑल डिपेंड्स अपॉन द इंडिविजुअल एंड द नेचर ऑफ द एग्जामिनेशन. बट ब्रॉडली दिस इज हाउ द टाइम मैनेजमेंट लुक्स लाइक. एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ टाइम मैनेजमेंट इज brainstorming, which I will teach you how to do the brainstorming. Because if you do a good brainstorming, writing a good essay becomes easy. Is it making sense for everyone? Okay. Now, finally, we come to the point, how to write the essay. So there are 3 components of essay writing: introduction, body, and conclusion. See, the agenda for today's lecture is to nail how to write the introduction component. So our entire focus for remaining lecture would be on the introduction. This is how the entire essay would look like. And let me get over with the second lecture, then the complete picture would be visible for you. The first topic is introduction, the second is the body, and third is the conclusion. I have tried to make you understand in the simplest possible manner what is introduction. Tell them what you are going to tell them. As simple as that. Tell the examiner what they can expect in your essay in the introduction itself. In the body, you actually tell them. And in the conclusion, based on what you have told them, you provide a futuristic vision. And together, all the three components, if combined, it creates your essay. And if I have to make you understand in the simplest possible manner, I would say introduction is like a trailer of a movie. If your trailer is good, the footfall on the first weekend automatically increases. And if your trailer is not good, people know where the movie is going to land. So the point here is, like a trailer, what is the purpose of trailer? It is giving an insight to the public. What's the genre of the movie? What they can broadly expect in the movie, but they don't reveal everything. Otherwise, your curiosity will die. And they will make the trailer as captivating, as interesting as possible, because then the public is curious what more they can watch in the movie. And that is what will result into whether a movie is a blockbuster or not. फिर डिपेंड करेगा मूवी कैसी थी, फिर वो वर्ड ऑफ माउथ से हो सकता है पहले वीकेंड पे तो लोग आ जाएंगे ना ट्रेलर से, अब वीकेंड के बाद आएंगे कि नहीं आएंगे बॉडी पे डिपेंड करेगा. Is that very clear for everyone? So introduction is nothing but the trailer of the movie. और ये बात को ध्यान में रखते हुए अब अपने essay का introduction लिखना. कि और ये मैं आपको अपनी personal opinion से बता रही हूँ that when I go through the scripts of the aspirants just to give them the feedback, और अगर introduction अच्छा नहीं होता तो कहीं ना मन ही नहीं करता आगे. मैं वहीं रुक जाती हूँ, मैं बोलती हूँ अगली बार दोबारा लिख कर लाओ और एक अच्छा इंट्रोडक्शन लिख कर लाओ. क्योंकि जब तक इंट्रोडक्शन अच्छा नहीं होगा, if I am doing this, maybe others also think in the similar manner that if your introduction is not nice, the interest to read the remaining essay automatically reduces. Is that clear? So कहते हैं ना, well begin is half done. So if your introduction is good, the chances of scoring 65 plus automatically increases. और ये basic rule है कि अगर 40 से कम मार्क्स हैं, इसका तो मतलब है कि कॉन्टेक्स्ट और कंटेंट दोनों गलत था. अगर 40 to 45 के बीच में मार्क्स हैं, इसका मतलब है कि कॉन्टेक्स्ट सही है, कंटेंट इज ओके. If you score above 55 and within 55 to 65, that means content and context both are fine, but slight more effort is required. वो slight more effort comes only at two places. One is the introduction and other is the conclusion. और अगर ये दोनों अच्छा लिख दिया, automatically your marks will end up 75 पर essay. अगर 75 चाहिए, all three components needs to be perfect. मैं सब बताऊंगी. Let me just go step by step. So the agenda is we are starting with the introduction. Let's give the heading introduction. While writing the introduction, three things have to be kept in mind. It should be relevant to the theme of the topic. So whatever you are writing, it needs to be relevant. Second, it should be suggestive of your interpretation of the topic, how you have interpreted the topic. And most importantly, it needs to be interesting and captivating. These are the three main components while writing the introduction. And let me just finish. आपको realize होगा कि मैं बहुत subjective चीज को भी बहुत objectively समझा दूंगी. And you will understand how to write the introduction. बस इतना बता दो, ये तीनों points का मतलब समझ आया? कि जो introduction है, it should be contextually relevant to the topic. first. Second, it should also suggest to the examiner what is your stand or interpretation of the topic. And finally, it should be presented in a captivating and interesting manner. As simple as that. Yahan tak clear hua? हाँ जी. Captivating, you're just holding the attention of the examiner. ठीक है? ये तीन चीजें clear हुई. Can we proceed? Now, once we are clear with these three things, now make the essay introduction slightly objective. Let us suppose this is my sheet. I will divide my introduction in three parts. First, second, and this is third. The first part is, let us say you are introducing your essay by an anecdote or by a quote or by any poem or let us say a paradox. ये सब समझाऊंगी मैं भी. But this first component of your essay is basically to make your essay captivating and interesting. Third point लिखा था हमने, captivating and interesting. तो ये जो first चीज होती है, इसको हम use करते हैं essay को captivating and interesting बनाने के लिए. लेकिन सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट जो होता है वो होता है second point. क्यों? क्योंकि जो भी आपने captivating और interesting बनाने के लिए लिखा है, that has to be linked with the demand of the topic. अगर मैंने demand of the topic से link नहीं किया, then how will I establish that whatever I have written is right? Is that very clear? And I'll show you by means of topper script that whatever I'm saying, how it needs to be applied. So this is captivating and interesting. The second component is it should be relevant to the topic. And third is tell the examiner what to expect in the essay. Now, in the third component, you have a choice. First and second component does not change. अगर आपने anecdote लिखा है, you have to link the anecdote to the theme of the topic. You have started with a quote. You have to link it to the theme of the topic. So first two components cannot change. Third component can change. And how it will change? See, if you do not have good answer writing skills, मतलब बहुत profound nuance skills नहीं है, हम लोग सब की तरह तुच्छ प्राणी हैं कि normal लिखते हैं, make sure you write the third component. Third component में हम बताते हैं, in the following essay, we are going to explore the topic from these dimensions. It serves two purposes. It is telling examiner what to expect, but more than that, it tells us what to write in the essay. तो मैं ऐसा कोई काम नहीं, एग्जामिनर को तो बाद में देखेंगे, पहले खुद को तो पता हो कि क्या लिखना है, ठीक है? So mostly it is telling us that this is how the essay needs to be approached. So one of the choices you mention here briefly what all you are going to discuss in the essay. That becomes third component. अब इसमें choice क्या है? कभी-कभी होता है कि पूरा मत लिखो. You are not writing every component. You can just mention that before we further delve in the essay, let's first explore what are these concepts. Then you start writing the essay. Having discussed the concepts, now let us explore the prospects and challenges. Then you start writing the essay again. So again, what is happening? You are telling the examiner also what you are going to do, but more than that, you are telling yourself what needs to be written. Is that very clear? And the third option is don't write the third component. But that is only possible if you have a good command on your sentence formation, that just by reading, it is visible to the examiner how you are transgression from the introduction to the body. If that transition is not visible, observable to the examiner, that means you have a need to introduce the third component. Third component tells examiner, introduction is over, now the body is starting. Is that making sense for everyone? Let me give you one example, you will understand better. Let's just go through the topper scripts. Is it visible? Read the topic. In contemporary world politics, smart power is neither hard nor soft. It is both. Topic is clear for everyone. Okay? Rewind to 2017, tensions between US and North Korea had reached at its peak. North Korea's nuclear capabilities were not just threatening the Korean peninsula, but even the American hegemony in the region. USA's President Donald Trump commented that North Koreans will witness a fire and fury that the world has never seen. In return, North Korea threatened to attack Guam, enveloping it in fire. Coming 1 year ahead, both Mr. Trump and North Korean leader sat together at Singapore. On June 12th, some media persons commented on this meet as the most important summit of 21st century. North Korea agreed for disarmament, while US stopped its military exercises with South Korea. How did this happen in matter of less than a year? The answer, like just told, is the first component ended here. Now, what is the point of writing ki kya summit hui, kya hua? Batana to padega, what is the relevance to the topic? Now starts the second part of your introduction. The answer lies in skillful diplomacy and use of smart power. Had both leaders not shown maturity, world would have headed for a deadly nuclear arm race. It is this smart power that matters in the current global politics. Has the person linked the current issue with the demand of the topic? First and second part done. What are the components of smart power, how it is different from hard and soft power, or it is the combination of two? In the essay, we will try to find answers to all these questions through various dimensions. Did you get the point? अब आपको लगेगा कि मैम एक ने लिख दिया कैसे? हम जितने टॉपर पिछले 5 साल के सबके दिखा दूंगी, यही तरीका होता है, वो भी यही से पढ़े. देखो यार, दो ही चीजें, या तो डायरेक्ट स्टूडेंट हो नहीं तो टेलीग्राम के स्टूडेंट हो. सो द पॉइंट हियर इज घूम फिर के लिखोगे तो वही. सो दिस इज अ स्टैंडर्ड वे ऑफ राइटिंग. ठीक है, लेट्स जस्ट हैव अ लुक. लेट्स सी इफ आई हैव टू शो द स्क्रिप्ट ओनली. This is Gautam Vivekanandan. This is this year's 149 marks. We can take her topic also. I'll show Gautam ka script. Just have a look at Ishita ka script first. Okay. Information is the currency of democracy. Is the topic clear? Information is the currency of democracy. If all but one has a difference of opinion, we must listen, for the truth can emerge from anywhere. Can we start with a quotation? Yes. Can we start with a current event we just now showed? As अब quotation लिख के नहीं introduction हो गया, बताओ तो ये quotation क्यों लिखी है? As one of the first champions of democracy, Mill has highlighted the paramount importance of every piece of information. This prevents both the tyranny of one over majority as well as that of majority over one. This is best understood from a story of a common Indian man who was yet to make a name for himself. Now see, ये हम हमेशा बताते हैं, do not reveal the name in the beginning. Otherwise, curiosity comes to an end. अभी आप सोच रहे हो ना कि आगे किसकी स्टोरी आने वाली है, क्योंकि नाम अभी आपको नहीं बताया है. His genius was shunned by the world. His in-depth analysis was found in the shredding machines of monetary policy authorities. His warnings were discarded as just a paranoia. But when the American and European banks and other financial authorities started falling, culminating into global financial crisis, there was only one place to go. The world's best economist brushed off the dust from the book fault lines and reached out to the common Indian man who had predicted and warned about global meltdown. It was Raghuram Rajan. Had the discussions been had the discussions been democratic, his information would have prevented a catastrophe. Is the entire story linked with the demand of the topic? Information is the currency of democracy. एक ही line लिखो लेकिन link करो. In this essay, we will understand the origin and essence of democracy, the role information has played, blah, 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 whatever you are going to do. Vaibhav was ranked 25 4 years back. This is rank 1 this year. Every year, writing style remains the same. The topic changes, example changes, but the structure remains the same. This is how the answer writing has to be done. Till here, things are clear. Let me again come back to the topic. There is one script which I'm searching. I wanted to show you that. There are few basic rules which has to be followed. And see, I'm again making a statement. Trust me, it has worked for others. It will work for you as well. But just follow what we are trying to say. The first thing is with respect to quotation. And once and for all, I'm just trying to resolve all the doubts. Can we start the essay with a quote? Yes, we can, provided it is not a philosophical essay. So the first rule is don't start a philosophical essay with a quotation, because it creates confusion in the mind of the examiner. Which quote have you answered? The one that is given to you or the one with which you have started your essay? So in philosophical essays, we cannot start with a quotation. That's the first rule. Now, in philosophical essays, can we use quote at other places? Yes. In between the body, in the conclusion, wherever you want to use the quote, you can. But do not introduce a philosophical essay with another quotation. That's the basic rule. How many quotations to be written in the essay? Maximum 4. Not beyond that. Otherwise, it looks more like a collection of quotation rather than the essay. So not beyond 4. And in this quotation, I'm including everything. Doha, or for that matter, some kind of a shairi if you are using. Anything that you want to make use, you can do it. Sanskrit ke shlok, if you want to write that, please feel free to do that. But make sure it has to be written in English script. For example, Rahman pani rakhiye, bin pani sab soon. तो आप ऐसे लिखेंगे जैसे मैसेजिंग करते हैं. रहमन पानी राखिए, ऐसे लिखेंगे आप. कोई भी आप दोहा लिखते हैं, या मंजिल मिलेगी भटक कर ही सही, गुमराह तो वो हैं जो घर से निकले भी नहीं. ठीक है, ये पक्का अपने एथिक्स वाले नहीं है, अभी इनको आदत नहीं हुई है. द पॉइंट हियर इज नहीं. और ये कहाँ यूज होता है? अभी बात करें, एक ऐसे आया ना इस बार, नॉट ऑल हु वॉन्डर आर लॉस्ट. सो कैन दिस शायरी बिकम्स द कंक्लूजन फॉर दिस ऐसे? यस इट डज. ठीक है, लेकिन जब लिखेंगे तो ऐसे लिखेंगे. S. Did you get the mess? अब तो आदत हुई, ये तो लिखना बहुत आसान होगा. दिन में मैसेजिंग इसी से. So the point here is कि this is how the things have to be written. But make sure if it is self-explanatory, then it is fine. If it is not, then in English, in one line, you have to explain the meaning. Because the medium that you have chosen is English. So maybe the person who's correcting does not understand the language. So in English, you have to explain the meaning. But can this be used? Absolutely, it can be, and it has worked for others. It will work for you. For example, somewhere I heard that Sanskrit shloks वगैरह नहीं use करने चाहिए because वो नहीं समझ आते. There was a student, Satyam Gandhi, who was ranked 10. He had this habit of always concluding the essay with a Sanskrit shlok, and he's ranked 10. So I think action speaks louder than words. That ये सारी चीजें की जा सकती हैं. It has worked for others. It will work for you. अब मुद्दा ये आता है कि तैयारी कैसे करें इन चीजों की. ऐसा नहीं होता कि separately you are preparing. The easiest way of doing it is you have your ethics paper. It's been 10 years now, 2013 onwards. Every year there are 3 questions quotation based which is asked in your ethics paper. You will be preparing TYQs. वहां से अगर मैं 3-3 कोट हर साल की उठा लूं तो टोटल कितनी कोटेशंस हुई? 30 कोटेशन. अब 2 चीजें हो रही हैं. एक तो आप एथिक्स की आंसर राइटिंग प्रिपेयर कर रहे हो, और दूसरा आपकी 30 कोटेशंस तैयार हो गई फॉर योर ऐसे. तो आधी जुगाड़ तो पीवाईक्यू से हो जाता है. बहुत बार तो मैं पीवाईक्यू के क्वेश्चन के स्टेटमेंट्स ही उठा के अगली क्लास में चिपका देती हूँ. सो द पॉइंट हियर इज दिस इज हाउ इट इज बीन डन. सेकंड, योर मॉक टेस्ट. विजन की टेस्ट सीरीज की एक खासियत है जो मैं बताती हूँ. विजन जब भी क्वेश्चंस बनाता है, स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस आर आस्क्ड lot many times. That a statement is given, in the context of the statement discuss so and so. अब obviously बात है, the statement will not be asked by UPSC, but that statement becomes your introduction, conclusion, or you can utilize that statement somewhere in your essay writing. So this is how the fodder is being prepared. Prepare a thin booklet separately, and that should always be there in your bag. It should always be there in your study table. Why am I saying? Suppose you are reading a newspaper and you came across a quotation, you came across an excerpt from some speech of a foreign minister or prime minister or some leader which you think can be used. Immediately, without any procrastination, make a noting of it. क्योंकि जब आप ये सोचोगे ना, मार्क कर लेते हैं, लिख लेंगे, वो लिख लेंगे, कभी नहीं आएगा. उसी वक्त उठाओ और हाथ की हाथ नोट्स बनाते जाओ. दिस इज हाउ एसे एंड एथिक्स आर गेटिंग प्रिपेयर्ड. देयर इज नो वन डे दैट आज बैठते हैं, चलो आज ऐसे की तैयारी करते हैं. ऐसे नहीं होता. ऐसे की तैयारी रोज होगी, एंड यू विल रियलाइज सम डेज लेटर दैट एक्चुअली यू आर प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर essay writing. Is it making sense for everyone? Now, my question. Any doubt? Acha, with respect to quotation, what if you don't remember the name of a person who has given the quote? No issue. जब याद ही नहीं है तो फिर क्या करें? छोड़ दो. Don't bluff. Don't write a forged name. ठीक है, छोड़ दो. Anonymous लिख के छोड़ दो, या कुछ मत लिखो. But do not make a wrong guess. Because what if the person correcting knows, and what if the person checks? उसके पास भी स्मार्टफोन है, सिर्फ आपके पास नहीं है. So the point here is do not bluff. If you know the name of the person, write the quote in double quotation and write the name of the person. Let us suppose you don't know. Write it in single inverted commas and just leave it. Single inverted commas is open to interpretation. Sometimes you don't remember the quote ad verbatim. Absolutely no issue. Single inverted mein likho and move ahead. Is it making sense for everyone? Is it clear for everyone? Can we start the next point now? Quote से related कोई doubt है? Quotation से related? हाँ जी. I did not get the point. I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear. Acha, okay. For the part, I was saying that if you go through previous year, whether it is ethics paper or essay paper, you will find quotations there. Okay. So there are quotations which are asked in ethics paper every year, 3 quotations. So 10 years, 30 quotations. Okay. Similarly, essay also. In past 5 years, quotation-based essays have been asked. So from those quotations, you can actually prepare the fodder. That make a noting of those quotes, that where all these quotes can be used. Did you get the point? Okay. For example, there was an ethics quotation, life unexamined is not worth living. That is a quote statement given by Socrates, which was asked in ethics paper. इस साल का topic आया, not all who wander are lost. Can I use this quote here? Because when you wander, you actually end up examining your life. And if you don't examine your life, it is not worth living. So wandering is actually desirable. Can I use the quote here? Did you get my point, what I'm trying to say? Is this clear for everyone? Can we proceed? ठीक है, quote तक सबको clear है? Next. The next and the most common way of introducing your essay is anecdotes. Now, anecdotes comes very handy and it is an easiest way of introducing the essay. Now, there are 2 things which have to. एक होता है real life anecdote. Other is fictional anecdote. Third is you are linking the conclusion with the anecdote to complete the cycle. There are these few things which is often a matter of concern. Now, again, a piece of advice. If it is a philosophical essay, always choose a real life anecdote. Don't create fictional characters. Again, ऐसा कोई hard and fast rule नहीं है. It's just a suggestion. Why am I saying this is? Sometimes it may happen that we are not very proficient with our statement formation. So many times if we are writing a fictional anecdote, we may not be able to convey to the examiner what exactly we are trying to say. But if it is an anecdote of some real life famous personality, then examiner already knows the context in which you have written the anecdote. So conveying your intent becomes easier. Is that very clear? क्योंकि philosophical तो वैसे ही abstract है. उसमें आपने example भी abstract दे दिया. तो आप तो मतलब और प्रॉब्लम्स को बढ़ा रहे हो. So if something is abstract, try to make it more relevant. So try to use a real life anecdote. And from where the anecdotes can be used? Any famous political leadership. You can build the anecdote from mythology. You can talk about corporate leadership. You can use the anecdote from the life of any sports person or the life of any artist. But try to prepare. And anyway you are going to prepare. क्योंकि जब ethics की तैयारी कर रहे हो तो ये सारी चीजें वैसे ही तैयार कर रहे हो. It's just that while writing the anecdote in essay, you should know the basic background of the anecdotes that you are using. Is that very clear? Is it making sense? ठीक है. अक्सर देखा है, if it is an issue based topic, if you cannot find a real life, please choose to write a fictional anecdote. For example, agriculture in India is a victim of past success. कहीं लिख लो ये टॉपिक. Indian agriculture is a victim of past success. Can you tell me the context of this topic? Absolutely. Green Revolution है. अब ऐसे में फिक्शनल एनेक्डोट क्रिएट करना बड़ा आसान है. सपोज करो ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन से रिलेटेड हम क्या बोल रहे हैं, विक्टिम ऑफ पास्ट सक्सेस. मतलब यू हैव टू टॉक अबाउट द नेगेटिव इंपैक्ट ऑफ ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन. आई थॉट कि एक पॉइंट हम बात कर सकते हैं दैट बिकॉज ऑफ ओवर यूसेज ऑफ पेस्टिसाइड्स एंड एवरीथिंग देयर वाज हेल्थ कंसर्न्स व्हिच गॉट जनरेटेड एंड बिकॉज ऑफ व्हिच कैंसर एक्सप्रेस रन्स फ्रॉम बीकानेर टू भटिंडा और दी वाइस वर्सा. अब मुझे ये एक न्यूज पता है या मुझे ये एक चीज पता है विच इज अ नेगेटिव एस्पेक्ट. नाउ आई क्रिएटेड अ फिक्शनल एनेक्डोट. बहुत आसान होता है, कोई भी एक कैरेक्टर इंट्रोड्यूस कर लो. मैंने करतार सिंह को किया. करतार सिंह, और मैंने थोड़ी भूमिका बनाई, करतार सिंह इज अ फार्मर हु इज सिटिंग ऑन हिज चारपाई इन मोगा पंजाब. सिचुएशन क्रिएट हो गई, ठीक है. एंड देन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट ही इज सिटिंग देयर वेटिंग फॉर हिज tomorrow's journey, which he is taking with his other two sons. And the journey is basically to treat his disease, that is cancer, which has developed due to over usage of pesticides, which is running from Bhatinda to Bikaner. This above scenario depicts that how today agriculture is suffering from the negative implications of green revolution. In the following essay, we will discuss, and then whatever you want to discuss. Did you get the point? तो फिक्शनल एनेक्डोट्स इशू बेस्ड एसेज में क्रिएट करना बहुत आसान होता है. कोई भी कैरेक्टर इंट्रोड्यूस कर लो. तो फॉर एग्जांपल राम श्याम और करतार सिंह और प्रीति और रिया, वट एवर यू वॉन्ट टू इंट्रोड्यूस. जैसे हम लोग एनसीईआरटीज में स्टोरी पढ़ते हैं ना, इट इज द सिमिलर फैशन. आई टेल यू वन इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग. देयर वाज दिस एसे दैट फुलफिलमेंट ऑफ न्यू वुमेन इन इंडिया इज अ मिथ. देयर वाज अ स्टूडेंट हु सिक्योर्ड 175 in this essay, and she chose to write that there was a girl called Priya, and who was convent educated, who was working in a technical field, and she was earning a good amount of money. So have we realized the new women concept? But then she continued in writing that although Priya is educated, she's well qualified, she's skilled, she's working, she's earning, but then she doesn't have the autonomy to decide how to spend the money that she is earning. So above anecdote puts a big question mark to what extent concept of new women has been fulfilled in context of India. This we will be exploring in the following essay, where we will approach the topic from following dimensions, and then you mention the dimension. First and foremost, what do you mean by new women, and then so on. Did you get my point? So in issue-based topic, introducing a fictional character is easy. Is it making sense for everyone? Now, although this is very advisable because it looks great, but it is not possible and easy for everyone. If you can do this, then it looks really good. You start with an anecdote, and while you are writing the conclusion, you link it to the same anecdote. It shows that you have completed the entire cycle, and it looks good. But then sometimes it becomes difficult. तो अगर नहीं हो पा रहा तो छोड़ दो. Just start with the anecdote, end the anecdote there itself. But if you can do it, it's a good way of writing. And this is mostly possible when your anecdotes are fictional. Is it making sense for everyone? Is there anything related to anecdote? Anecdote कहीं बीच में लिखना है? नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. या तो इंट्रोडक्शन या कंक्लूजन या दोनों, ठीक है. बीच में कहीं पे भी एनेक्डोट नहीं लिखेंगे. एंड एनेक्डोट नीड्स टू बी क्रिस्प, नॉट मोर देन 70 to 80 वर्ड्स. इसके बियॉन्ड नहीं जाना चाहिए. एक अनदर चीज जो मैं आई वांट टू ड्रॉ योर attention. बहुत बार क्या होता है, जैसे last year there were two topics. Ship is safe in the harbor, but it is not meant to be. And there was another topic, the roof should be repaired when sun is shining. The topics were attempted by most of the student, and everyone ended up scoring less than 105, especially if these were the combination. तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि टॉपिक गलत चूज कर लिया, क्या गलत हो गया, नहीं. The thing is, जब आप टॉपिक कॉमन चूज करते हो या आसान चूज करते हो, make sure you're not writing common examples. जैसे मैंने एक ट्रेंड देखा था जब मैं लास्ट ईयर ऐसे करवा रही थी. कुछ एग्जाम्पल, सम्राट अशोक, गौतम बुद्ध, नेल्सन मंडेला, महात्मा गांधी, ये 4 एग्जाम्पल थे जो हर के ऐसे में मौजूद थे. इस बार मैंने एक नया ट्रेंड देखा, रॉबर्ट ओपेनहाइमर, ठीक है, देयर इज बारबी एंड देयर इज चंद्रयान 3. ये हर के ऐसे में मुझे देखने को मिल रहा था. सो द पॉइंट हियर इज, आपको क्या लग रहा है, आपको या चंद्रयान लिखते हैं, अगर वो आपके लिए करंट है, वो बाकियों के लिए भी करंट है. और सिर्फ ये नहीं कि आप तैयारी कर रहे हैं, वो भी कर रहे हैं. तो अगर आप लिख रहे हैं कि अरे इसमें मैं ओपेनहाइमर लिखूंगा, किसी ने सोचा नहीं हो, क्यों? बाकी लोग नहीं देख रहे मूवी या बाकी लोग नहीं फॉलो कर रहे व्हाट इज द ट्रेंड. सो द पॉइंट हियर इज, राइट समथिंग व्हिच इज नॉट कॉमन. अदरवाइज जब मैंने पहली बार पढ़ा ओपेनहाइमर, आई वाज लाइक गुड, द पर्सन नोज हाउ टू अटेम्प्ट. फिर मैंने दूसरी स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ी ओपेनहाइमर, आई वाज लाइक अच्छा ठीक है, ही इज आल्सो ट्राइंग टू अटेम्प्ट. पर जब वो तीसरी चौथी स्क्रिप्ट में भी ओपेनहाइमर था, मैंने कहा जिसने भी ओपेनहाइमर लिखा ना -5, क्योंकि इतना इंसान बोर हो जाता है. आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू टेल यू अ ह्यूमन साइकी दैट व्हेन यू गेट टू रीड द सेम एग्जांपल टाइम एंड अगेन, यू गेट फ्रस्ट्रेटेड एंड ऑल ऑफ अ सडन देन फिर क्या होता है, पेनल्टी मार्क्स स्टार्ट हो जाते हैं. तो इफ यू आर चूजिंग अ कॉमन टॉपिक, प्लीज डोंट चूज कॉमन एग्जांपल. विद ऑल ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट, इनफ ऑफ महात्मा गांधी, नेल्सन मंडेला और मार्टिन लूथर किंग जूनियर. ट्राई टू थिंक समथिंग बियॉन्ड. इज दैट वेरी क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन? ठीक है. सो आर दीज पॉइंट्स मेकिंग सेंस? और अगर सपोज करो कुछ और याद नहीं आ रहा, क्या करें, एग्जाम में नहीं याद आ रहा, तो फिर इतना इंश्योर करना कि नाम पहले डिस्क्लोज मत कर देना. फिर ट्राई टू बिल्ड द क्यूरोसिटी कि एटलीस्ट पूरा पढ़ने के बाद वो सही, अच्छा ये था तो चलो कोई नहीं, बट जब इतनी मेहनत करिए नंबर. लेकिन अगर शुरू में ही लिख दोगे, कहेंगे लो इन्होंने भी यही लिखा है, छोड़ो क्या पढ़ना. सो द पॉइंट हियर इज, ट्राई टू बिल्ड द क्यूरोसिटी. इज द एनेक्डोट पोर्शन क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन? कैन वी प्रोसीड? There is another way of introducing the essay, that is paradox. I wanted to show you a script to explain that. provided they have included that script, which I think is missing. अरे यार इसमें कुछ चीजें मिसिंग है जो मैंने भेजी हैं. एक सृष्टि की स्क्रिप्ट होगी, रैंक 75. We'll take 5 minutes break. Let me just search the script because I want to show you एक गौतम की script और एक सृष्टि की script. We'll take 5 minutes break. So people, let's just continue. There are some online doubts. First, give us the example. Muskan is asking, ma'am, please give example for an anecdote. Yeah, we'll just take the examples now. This is Shrishti, last year's topper. I think rank was 75. Just read the topic. An army of principles can penetrate where army of soldiers cannot. Just read the topic once. Army of principles can penetrate where army of soldiers cannot. Matlab, sometimes let us say that power of argument is more as compared to argument of power. Okay? So sometimes where soldiers cannot penetrate, your principles can penetrate. So somebody was asking me that how to start the introduction with an anecdote. And I said anecdote can be from your scriptures as well. Now read the anecdote. A distressed Parth asked Keshav, how would he be able to defeat an army of Kaurav, which famed the best warriors and his beloved elders? Keshav answered that he must fight with absolute principles, as only then he will fulfill his dharma. In the end, Pandavas successfully defeated a Herculean army as their side fought with principles. The epic of Mahabharata enshrines the crux of this statement. After first, the second part. Principles have proven to win battles and hearts in the long of history several times. In this essay, we shall try to understand the importance of principles in human life. We also would try to understand ways of leading a life of principles through examples of great men and so on. The point here is not the content. The point here is anecdote clear? How anecdote is linked to the demand of the essay and how the introduction is suggesting the examiner what to expect in the essay. Are all the three parts clear for everyone? Okay. Now, the second thing is, before we further proceed, that's like my favorite anecdote. This is this year's selected candidate, 211th rank and 149 marks. Just read the topic. Action without thought is empty. Thought without action is blind. Today's agenda is only introduction. ठीक है. The topic is clear. एक बार फिर से पढ़ लो अगर कहीं भी doubt हो. As a kid, I used to love traveling. Can we write a personal anecdote? Yes. Long distance via trains. This was so because every travel meant a new book for me to read. On one such occasion, my dad got me a Tinkle comic. This comic book is well known for its character named Supandi. In that particular edition, Supandi was preparing for a swimming competition. Rather than going to a swimming pool, he decided to train in a well, kuwa, without giving a thought, action without thought. The outcome was hilarious. On the final day of the competition, rather than swimming straight, Supandi started swimming in circle because he was accustomed to training in the well. Is the first part over? Now, why did I say contextual clarity? If in the topic there are two parts, action without thought and thought without action, you have to give a beginning which is addressing both the parts. Another well-known character is that of Sheikh Chilli. He is ever known for his khayali pulao. In one way, he is completely opposite to Supandi, for he has innumerable thoughts but zero action. So that was action without thought, and this is thought without action. Now, first part over. Second, these two examples highlight that action without thought is empty and thought without action is blind. Is the second part of the essay done? Third, however, before dwelling deep on this, it is imperative to understand the meaning of thought, action, and their relationship. And then you start writing the essay. Is it making sense? This year's 149 marks. But did you understand? Ab tak jitne essay, jitne toppers across, ek cheez jo nahi badli, that is part 1, part 2, part 3. Because that's a standard way of writing. Is it making sense for everyone? Okay. Anecdote, all those who were asking, is it clear? Okay. I wanted to show one more way of doing it, that is paradox. Paradox अक्सर काम आता है जब social issues या कोई ऐसे issues पे आपको ऐसे लिखना हो where two extremes have to be established. Let me just show it to you. Again, this is Shrishti's script. Read. The topic is a health system to meet 21st century needs in India. A health system to meet 21st century needs in India. In 2019, a proton therapy center was inaugurated in Chennai. It claims to be one of the first in the world to provide world-class health support to Indians against diseases like cancer. Resembling a stark irony is a migrant labor was forced to deliver on the streets and continued to walk a stretch of 200 kilometers, 6 hours post her delivery. The two examples paint, first part comes the second part. The two examples paint a contrasting picture of Indian health system, where on one hand we are leaping towards new technology, whereas on the other hand, failing in providing basic amenities to cater the needs of 21st century India. Now comes the third part. In this essay, we'll try to understand dimensions of health, the issues surrounding the health, contrast and so on, whatever is your way of approaching. Is the paradox part clear for everyone? Is it making sense? Okay. Another way of introducing the essay is also a conversation. And I remember there was a topic UPSC asked, dreams which should not let India sleep. And there was a student who was a selected candidate now. So when I spoke to the person, how did you introduce the essay? So the person actually chose a conversation. And the conversation was between a girl. The girl, her name was Bharat. She wanted to show the analogy. So one, it so happened that Bharat was sleeping and she had a dream. And in her dream, she saw an old man. So she asked, who are you? So he said, I am Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. So then she asked, what do you want to see? So, or what do you want? So he said, I want to see India of my dreams. So then she asked, what do you mean by India of your dreams? So then he started, whatever you want to write in your essay, that brotherhood hona chahiye, solidarity, equality, development, progress, whatsoever. So then she asked, why have you not achieved India of your dreams? So then you will mention all the problems that you are going to discuss, because there is radicalization, fundamentalism, caste conflict, patriarchy, etc. So then she asked, when will you achieve India of your dreams? To which he replies, when youth like you will rise awake and stop not till the goals are achieved. Did you get the point? So then she started the essay. So is the conversation making a sense that this is how conversation can be created? अब 2 मिनट अभी मैंने आपको सृष्टि का एक एनेक्डोट दिखाया था जिसमें आर्मी ऑफ प्रिंसिपल्स का देखा जाए तो वो भी एक तरह का कॉन्वर्सेशन ही था between Arjun and Keshav. Although she wrote it like an anecdote, you could have written it as a conversation. That will also fetch you marks. अब ये सारी चीजें अभी सोच के लगेगा यार ये लोग ने कर लिया हम कैसे करें? ये भी एक दिन आप ही की जगह बैठे थे. आज हम उनकी बुकलेट्स डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, कल आप की करेंगे. So the point here is you just have to learn, you have to take inspiration and you have to practice. One point to be noted, don't copy them. Don't copy. Because when you copy someone, you lose out on your originality. Go through all these scripts, see which way you are more comfortable and then develop your own strength. उन्हें literally copy मत करो, inspiration ले लो, क्योंकि copy कब तक करोगे? Exam में ऐसे तो खुद ही को लिखना है ना? So don't copy them. But till here, is everything clear for everyone? Are these points making sense? ठीक है. एक online doubt था that can we quote the scenes from the movie? Just read this. Aisha is a successful entrepreneur, but she grapples with societal and familial expectation. Despite her professional success, she faces immense pressure to maintain a perfect image as a wife and daughter-in-law. Society expects her to balance her career and family while upholding traditional values and norms. On the other hand, Kabir is the heir to the business empire. Despite having different aspirations and dreams, he is pressured to follow the family tradition and take over the family business. The demand to continue the legacy is immense. The juxtaposition of Aisha and Kabir's character in Dil Dhadakne Do demonstrates two sides of societal pressure faced by girls and boys. Aisha embodies the restriction that limits a woman's freedom and choices, whereas Kabir portrays the weight of demand and expectation placed on boys. This year's essay, girls are weighed down by restriction, boys by demand, too harmful discipline. Can this become the introduction? Our first and second part, clear? लेकिन अगर शुरू में ही बता दोगे दिल धड़कने दो, तो फिर अब पढ़ने वाले को कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, वो समझ जाएगा कि तुम क्या लिखना चाह रहे हो. ट्राई टू बिल्ड द क्यूरोसिटी. समटाइम्स राइट सिंपल बट राइट इट इन इफेक्टिव मैनर. और जिसको सिनेमा का शौक हो बट थोड़ा माइंडफुल सिनेमा हो, कुछ भी ना लिखने बैठ जाना. बट द पॉइंट हियर इज इफ यू आर फॉन्ड ऑफ समथिंग, ट्राई टू यूज इट एज योर स्ट्रेंथ. दिस ईयर विदाउट नेमिंग अगेन देयर वाज अनदर टॉपर. I was just listening to the topper's talk. So the person has secured, I think, 135 or something in essay. And the person attempted the topic, the poets are unacknowledged legislators. अब ऐसे topic में, this year's topic था ना, poets are unacknowledged legislators, last year's topic. So when she was supposed to write, she was not aware of many poems which can be used. She actually made use of the Hindi movie songs. And how those songs उसने relate किया था कि how this is telling you that in future what kind of legislation needs to be created. So sometimes you can make use of the songs also in writing your essays, and it is absolutely fine. For example, smile is the most ambiguous vehicle of emotion. तुम इतना जो मुस्कुरा रहे हो, क्या गम है जिसको छुपा रहे हो, है ना ambiguity की नहीं? अबे तुम लोग वाह वाह करना बंद करो, मुद्दे की बात सुनो. टॉपिक यही कह रहा है ना कि स्माइल इज द मोस्ट एम्बिगुअस इमोशन. क्या ये स्टेटमेंट, क्या ये सॉन्ग इसको जस्टिफाई नहीं कर रहा कि जब हम बोलते हैं कि आप इतना ज्यादा मुस्कुरा रहे हो, जरूर है कि खुश नहीं हो बट कोई गम छुपा रहे हो, तो स्माइल इज द मोस्ट एम्बिगुअस इमोशन. इट ऑल डिपेंड्स अपॉन हाउ यू आर यूजिंग सिनेमा सॉन्ग्स इन योर एसे राइटिंग. इट्स द मोस्ट क्रिएटिव प्लेटफॉर्म. जो अच्छा लगे वो लिखो, बस सही होना चाहिए, कॉन्ट्रोवर्शियल नहीं होना चाहिए और एथिकली करेक्ट होना चाहिए. रेस्ट एवरीथिंग इज अलाउड. इज इट मेकिंग सेंस फॉर एवरीवन? यहां तक क्लियर है सबको? ठीक है. सो लेट्स डू अ स्मॉल एक्सरसाइज. Write a topic. Believe in power of arguments. Believe in power of arguments rather than believe in power of argument rather than argument of power. Rather than argument of power. Rather than argument of power. Give me an introduction. फोन वोन जो यूज करना है करो, गूगल करके ढूंढना है वो करो, जो करना है करो, आपस में बात करना है धीरे धीरे वो भी कर लो, लेकिन गिव मी एन इंट्रोडक्शन. इंट्रोडक्शन के कितने पार्ट्स होंगे? 3 पार्ट्स होंगे. फर्स्ट पार्ट में हम क्या क्या यूज कर सकते हैं? कोटेशन, पोयम, एनेक्डोट, करंट इवेंट, पैराडॉक्स, कॉन्वर्सेशन, कुछ भी कर सकते हो, करो. पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस इंडिया हो गया है. अच्छा, जिसको हो गया है वह हिंट है. पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंट हिस्ट्री को यूज करो. हिस्ट्री, मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री हो गया है. हाँ, हिस्ट्री के कोई कॉन्वर्सेशंस याद है लीडरशिप के, जहां एक दूसरे को कन्विंस किया गया हो? अरे हिस्ट्री पढ़ी होगी, कहानियों की तरह पढ़ी होगी, उसमें कोई तो ऐसे कॉन्वर्सेशंस होंगे जहां बात करी गई होगी. गांधी पढ़ा है तो वो तो बात ही नॉन वायलेंस की करता है, दैट यू हैव टू बिलीव इन मतलब पावर ऑफ आर्ग्यूमेंट्स रादर देन आर्ग्यूमेंट्स ऑफ पावर. ट्राई टू थिंक, कुछ तो सोचो, आ जाएगा. टेक योर टाइम, टेक 5 to 10 minutes, थिंक. कुछ भी लिखो जो मन आ रहा है, पर लिखो. वन ऑफ द स्टूडेंट इज सेइंग कि मैम कैंडिडेट इतनी मेहनत से लिखता है तो कम से कम एग्जामिनर को पढ़ना तो चाहिए, यूपीएससी को उनकी भी एक वर्कशॉप लेनी चाहिए. कुछ नहीं यार अनुज, इतना नहीं, कम से कम एक प्रोविजन होना चाहिए कि अगर हम अपने मार्क्स से कन्विंस नहीं है तो जैसे बोर्ड एग्जाम में रीचेकिंग का प्रोविजन नहीं होता है, वो तो होना ही चाहिए. पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने 300 में से 33 दिए थे इन लोगों ने. There was a time, nothing against PAVAD, I'm generally saying कि एक टाइम था 2009-10 में PAVAD के स्टूडेंट्स के 300, 350, 360 ऐसे आते थे, तो पूरी दुनिया PAVAD ले रही थी. 2 ऑप्शनल होते थे, एक PAVAD फिक्स था, फिर दूसरा देखते थे. तो अगर 12,000 बच्चे मेंस लिख रहे हैं तो उसमें से 7,000 का PAVAD है. तो ये नौबत थी. फिर एक टाइम ऐसा आया 2012 में कि 600 नंबर का पेपर था. पेपर 1 में हाईएस्ट ही 72 थे और सबको लाइन से 33, 34, 35 ऐसे नंबर मिले थे. तो जब ये नंबर आए ना तो फिर बुरा भी नहीं लग रहा था, हंसी आ रही थी, क्योंकि फेल होने का भी क्राइटेरिया हमने पार कर दिया था. 33 नंबर कौन देता है बे? 300 में से 100 में से भी 33 मिलते तो समझ आता, 300 में से कौन देता है? बट दिस इज हाउ स्केलिंग इज डन. ठीक है, तो यार हाँ, होना तो चाहिए, आई एग्री. एक वर्कशॉप होनी चाहिए कि आप ऐसे नहीं कर सकते बच्चों के साथ. Socrates fighting against the ruling authority of Athens. Yes, you can write this example. हाँ लिखो. overall introduction should be 150 to 200 words, within which you can write the 3 subparts, depending upon how much words you are taking. तो मतलब कुछ नहीं करना, एक 10 marker answer लिखना है, 150 to 200 words. That's it. Nothing else is required. 3 parts में divide करो और लिखो. Samrat Ashok post Kaling War and pre-Kaling War. That can be one of the introduction. How Gautam Buddha convinced Angulimal to reform himself. That can also be the introduction. Or if you have done your post-independence India, the conversation where Lord Mountbatten convinced all the princes to accede to India. The address to Chamber of Princes. That can also be used to write the introduction. Did you get the point? The point here is you have too many options. Just try to explore. किसी ने chat GPT भी use किया है. The person has told कि chat GPT ने ये suggest किया, साहिल next time let's do one thing. अगर chat GPT भी use करते हो ना, तो सिर्फ topic डाल दोगे ना, तो काम नहीं बनेगा. जैसे topic लिखा, अब लिखो briefly explain the topic with the help of an example from Indian history. Prompt तो सही से डालो, तो फिर that will help you. Why you can absolutely use chat GPT. It can be done. हाँ जी. हाँ हाँ. So you're अच्छा, this is what you're thinking of. हाँ ठीक है, absolutely. हाँ अच्छा अच्छा, ओ अच्छा, ओके अच्छा, ओके, that ways. हाँ ठीक है, absolutely. See, prompt ठीक से डालोगे तो you will get the answer. That is how it works. हाँ हाँ ठीक है, absolutely right. हाँ ठीक. In fact, it's good. It's good. हाँ 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 हाँ, राइट. और जब इस कॉन्वर्सेशन को लिखोगे ना, उसके बाद जो वो सेकंड पार्ट है, उसमें बस लिंक कर देना. Then it will exactly fall in place. And whenever you are writing a conversation, suppose करो लंबी conversation है, make it a point that it doesn't go beyond 4 dialogues. As in A, B. This is one dialogue. A said something, B said something, and this should be repeated maximum 4 times. क्योंकि अगर उसके beyond जाता है तो वो monotonous हो जाता है. तो कुछ conversations आप cut कर सकते हो. But make sure it is crisp. Very good. We can do that. Anything else? हाँ हाँ, absolutely. International relations, you can talk about that. Somebody was talking about Russia Ukraine conflict and then the sanctions. बच्चे लेकिन वो Russia Ukraine conflict रुका नहीं ना. आपको वहां एग्जाम्पल देना है जहां पर इट हैज बीन सक्सेसफुल. इनफैक्ट देयर इज अ वेरी गुड कोट, लेट मी जस्ट रिकलेक्ट. सुन त्सू का स्टेटमेंट था दैट एक्मे ऑफ योर स्किल डज नॉट लाई दैट इफ यू वन 100 battles by fighting 100 wars, but the acme of the skill is when you defeat your opponent without even fighting a single battle. So that is how it works, that believe in power of argument rather than argument of power. So then Sun Tzu ka ye statement can also be used somewhere in writing. Anything else? Hanji. Okay, you need to tell me further. Huh. All the and the peace needs to be established. Okay, ठीक है. हाँ 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 But that's just the other way around. That's the other way around. It is not justifying the quote. That sometimes using the argument of power is also important. For example, Operation Caterpillar or police action of Polo in context of Hyderabad, or India waging a war against Pakistan. That sometimes war is required. Sometimes use of power is required, but not always. Is that clear? हाँ 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 हाँ, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, रश्मि रति बिल्कुल बात कर सकते हैं. इनफैक्ट आप इस पोयम को भी यूज कर सकते हो कि रामधारी सिंह दिनकर जी की रश्मि रति, कृष्ण की चेतावनी. सो दैट कैन ऑल्सो बी यूज्ड. हाँ बिल्कुल. So the point here is, I am hoping that you are understanding what is these first three components. Now, based on that, I am giving you an assignment. And see, you will not rush. If I am saying for next 1 week, you will be focusing on introduction. So you will be focusing on introduction only. Don't rush or jump into writing body or conclusion. Write down your assignments. I'm giving you 3 topics. First, I'll give you simple topics, okay, which you can attempt. Biased media is a threat to Indian democracy. Biased media is a threat to Indian democracy. UPSC question है, ठीक है. Now, assignment क्या है ये सुनो. You have to attempt writing the introduction for this topic in 3 different ways. See, second and third would remain the same, but first component, choose a quotation or an anecdote or a conversation or a paradox, whatever you, or some current event report, whatever it is. But give me introduction for this topic from 3 different ways. Is that very clear? Okay. I'll give you just one introduction. There was a speech which I happened to read. That was a speech given by Barack Obama in his final address to media, where he said that media should not be a sycophant. चापलूस नहीं होना चाहिए. Media should be skeptic. Media should not be complimentary. Media should cast a critical eye so that it can hold us accountable to those who have voted us to power. Is that very clear? So this is nothing but a speech which is given by a leader. In fact, that can also be used to write an introduction. But speech in isolation is not serving your purpose until and unless you link it with the demand, that is writing the second part of the introduction. Is that very clear for everyone? Now, before we conclude the lecture, you need to tell me, so far, is there anything that you've not understood? Is there any specific doubt, barring body and conclusion wala part? Is there any other specific doubt related to what we have discussed so far? हाँ हाँ नहीं, 1 से 3rd part बीच में second part लिखना ही mandatory है. If you are not linking your first part to the demand of the topic, writing first part has also become meaningless. So second part is the key that has to be written come what may, and there is no alternative to that. Third part में alternative हो सकता है, second part में कोई alternative नहीं है. Now second thing you need to tell me, so far whatever we discussed, everything got clear? Will you be doing these assignments? ठीक है. Was the speed fine for the essay lecture? ठीक है. Next time तैयार रहना. Next time you will be writing the essay in the क्लास. ठीक है. आज के लिए आई एम गिविंग दैट एक्सक्यूज, क्योंकि ठीक है फर्स्ट टाइम है, अभी आदत नहीं है तो ठीक, लेकिन नेक्स्ट टाइम क्लास में लिखना पड़ेगा, एंड दैट इज द पर्पस. एंड कम टू द क्लास विद अ माइंडसेट दैट यू विल बी राइटिंग द एसे इन द क्लास, अदरवाइज द पर्पस वुड बी डिफीटेड. इज दैट क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन? ठीक है. सो वील कंक्लूड द लेक्चर टुडे. आई विल आस्क द टीम टू अपलोड ऑल दीज स्क्रिप्ट्स ऑन योर प्लेटफॉर्म so that you can get access to them. Chalo.